Moin Moin und herzlich willkommen.
Hello and welcome to Inspiration and Contemplation with Xi Miao Dao. I'm glad to see you joining me again. Today we're going to talk briefly about meditation.
Kürzlich stieß ich auf Facebook auf
The other day I came across a posting on Facebook by a young woman dealing with meditation. In one of the comments, someone asked her which kind of meditation she was practicing, vipassanā or samatha or perhaps mantra meditation. Her answer was she was practicing mindfulness on the breath and metta meditation, so loving-kindness meditation. This answer called back into my mind that meditation practitioners are often uncertain or even confused about certain technical terms of meditation. So what I want to do today is bring some clarity into the terminology of Buddhist meditation.
Gemeinhin,
there is a widespread idea that in Buddhism there are different forms of meditation. So, for example, and mostly, samatha meditation, which is the tranquility meditation, and vipassanā meditation, called insight meditation. The Buddha himself never made this distinction, and still it seems to be useful to know these two kinds of meditation exist. But they do not exist parallelly without touching each other, but they are intertwined. Sometimes teachers use the simile of the two wings of a bird. The bird needs both of them to be able to fly. Strictly speaking, samatha meditation is a meditation method, a technical way aiming at calming mind and body. Vipassana meditation is not a method in this sense. Vipassana means insight or understanding, and in case of doubt, this can be reached to a certain level even without meditation practice. What now is the subject matter of insight and understanding? Well, starting point is the observation of the psychophysical processes in our organism. We can say Vipassana meditation means firstly observing and investigating the intertwined processes between body, feeling, cognitive perception, thinking and wanting, and consciousness, with the aim to understand and to know oneself. Let's consider this with the help of an example. Suppose someone wants to investigate the flight pattern of bees within a swarm of bees. With the naked eye, he will hardly be successful. Much too agitated and seemingly chaotic is their flight.
Also kommt auf den Gedanken,
So he has the idea to calm the bees by spraying some calming gas on the swarm.
den
However, hereby the movement of the swarm is not getting slower.
des Schwarms.
The bees won't fly at all any longer.
Die Bienen werden gar nicht mehr fliegen, ja, sondern nur noch benommen auf dem Nest herumkrabbeln. Die Bienen freuen sich möglicherweise über eine kleine
Perhaps
Ruhepause.
they may be happy about some relaxation time, but the investigator cannot do his job like this.
Also
So,
nimmt der Forscher
as soon as the bees are flying again around happily,
zur Hand,
the scientist takes a high-speed camera and films the
schaut er
bees.
sich das Material in
Later,
Slow Motion an.
he takes a close look at the slow-motion video and is thus able to investigate the flight pattern of the bees.
Und ganz ähnlich verhält es sich.
Samatha and vipassanā are quite similar to this.
Samatha-Meditation
In the
als
given
reine
simile, samatha meditation as a pure tranquility meditation corresponds to the spraying of the calming gas on the swarm, and also the slow motion rendering of the video would be samatha.
entspricht ebenfalls Samatha. Würde sich aber
Since
der
as
Forscher
long
lediglich
as the
mit
scientist
den
just enjoys
Aufnahmen
the pretty
erfreuen,
pictures,
an den Aufnahmen
he's
erfreuen,
not a scientist, but just someone who enjoys pretty videos.
jemand, der sich an schönen Videoaufnahmen erfreuen kann. Es muss hinzukommen, dass
The analysis and examination of the video must be included, the precise comprehending of the process within the bee swarm in order to make good statements about the bees flying in a swarm.
machen zu können. Dies entspricht in etwa dem Zweck.
This corresponds, if it were, to the aim of Vipassana meditation. We gain insight into the intertwined processes as a whole by observing them without judging them.
Sie wertfrei beobachtet werden und das, indem man den Geist zunächst beruhigt,
We calm the mind, then observe it
wie in Slow Motion,
like in slow motion and examine what happens.
auswertet. Tut man das?
If doing so,
Erfährt man
we begin to
sozusagen
understand
am eigenen
what
Leibe,
is called
wie es sich mit
the
dem
I,
verhält,
the
was wir
me,
als Ich,
and myself.
meins oder als mein Selbst betrachten. Das Bild des Bienenschwarms und dem
This
Forscher macht
simile
deutlich, dass
makes
die
clear
Ausrichtung des
that it
Geistes
is the direction
darüber
that we
entscheidet,
give
ob
to
man
our
Samatha
meditation
oder Vipassana
that decides over samatha
Nicht
or
von Bedeutung
vipassana
ist,
meditation. Not
Das ist sehr wichtig,
important,
das zu verstehen.
and it is very important to understand that,
Welches
is the meditation
man
object,
wählt, also
meaning
was das zentrale
the central object
der
of the
Aufmerksamkeit
attention
und der
and
Betrachtung
of the
der
observation of this object.
reine
Straight samatha
Meditation
meditation is characterized by an attention being on an object, for example breath, and this attention is more and more fixed on the object.
im Meditationsobjekt.
One loses oneself in the object, if it were, sinks so deep into it that our attention does not move to wherever else. This is what makes straight samatha meditation being exclusive.
Exklusiv. In der Vipassana-Meditation
In vipassana meditation, we use the samatha method only to the extent that our mind reaches a level of calm and allow distractions to be there, at least for a while. This, however, with mindfulness resulting from the calm, and this mindfulness observes the movement of our attention, but allows us not to follow this movement. The meditation object, be it the breath, the feeling of loving-kindness in our heart, be it a candle or a mantra, only serves as an anchor from which out one can observe the next upcoming movement of the attention. I sometimes call the state of mind an inclusive peripheral state, since it excludes nothing. This state is a bit like choiceless awareness meditation. Without going too much into detail, this leads to the understanding that mindfulness and attention are by far not the same thing.
Es sind zwei verschiedene Dinge.
The second task of vipassana is the investigation of the object itself in the light of their qualities or their nature, namely as impermanent and subject to change on the one hand, and on the other hand as anatta, as void of a remaining substance or unchangeable core. This level is contemplative, not meaning reflective, by the way. We kind of feel into the change of the object without reflecting upon it.
Ohne groß darüber nachzudenken. Auch hierfür ist es unabdingbar.
It is indispensable for this that the mind does not fall into a state of dullness or fogginess that I call sometimes the HTTP about blank state. Since in this state it is not possible to contemplate, as one is no longer aware of anything. So, vipassana meditation is also the contemplation of impermanence and finiteness, as well as the unsubstantiality resulting from its impermanence and the origin of suffering lying right in the first 2 points of impermanence and unsubstantiality. This applies to everything in the world. With this being said, regarding metta meditation as a pure samatha meditation is highly unprecise. The meditation object of metta meditation is vedana, feeling, and the meditation around this feeling, as well as the observation of its true nature as impermanent and subject to change, is the main subject matter of metta vipassana meditation. The vipassana meditation with feeling of loving kindness as its main object.
Ich hoffe, das hat ein bisschen Klarheit.
I hope I could bring some clarity into the terminology of Buddhist meditation. If you think so, just leave a comment under the video. if you feel like doing so. Have a good time in the remaining 3 weeks before Christmas and stay safe and healthy.
Und Smiles. Shimiao Dao.